In our politics lead, President Biden is set to hold a news conference tomorrow as he prepares to start his second year in office. And despite some major accomplishments, including a bipartisan $1 trillion infrastructure law and a major ramp up of vaccine production and availability, President Biden is also facing a slew of horrific domestic headlines and growing global threats. And in some polls, astoundingly low approval ratings. CNN's Jeff Zeleny takes a closer look right now at the highs and lows of Biden's first year as commander-in-chief.
This is our historic moment of crisis and challenge, and unity is the path forward.
As President Biden enters his second year in office, that unity is elusive, with the very same crisis and challenge still burning red hot and complicating his path forward. The optimism from Biden's inaugural address,
bringing America together,
tempered by the bitter reality of a capital and a nation even more divided, and a president scrambling to find his footing. From an unrelenting pandemic to stubborn inflation to dangerous threats to democracy at home and across the globe, the White House is trying to reset and restore a floundering presidency. Tonight, election reform on the cusp of failing in the Senate, the latest example of the limits of presidential power in today's Washington, where Republicans are loath to cooperate and Democrats with a razor-thin majority struggle to compromise.
There's been a lot of progress made. We need to build on that. The work is not done. The job is not done. And we are certainly not conveying it is.
Still, in March, Biden signed a $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan to ease the economic fallout from COVID-19. And months later, a $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure plan.
Bravo.
A landmark accomplishment that has eluded presidents of both parties.
Despite the cynics, Democrats and Republicans can come together and deliver results.
But that bipartisan bridge did not extend to the second part of his economic agenda, the Build Back Better plan, stalled in the Senate and facing an uphill road in this midterm election year. But above all, top White House officials concede the first year of the Biden presidency has been complicated and consumed by coronavirus. Remarkable gains were made on vaccines, but the president's summertime declaration of success proved utterly premature.
It no longer controls our lives. It no longer paralyzes our nation. And it's within our power to make sure it never does again.
A fall wave of the Delta variant, followed by a winter surge of Omicron, laid bare the failures in COVID testing and eroded confidence once again in the administration's grasp of the crisis.
It's clearly not enough. If we'd known, we would have gone harder, quicker if we could have.
On the world stage, Biden reassured allies after the whiplash of the Trump era.
America is back.
Yet the prospect of a new Cold War is now an urgent fear. That was not apparent during Biden's summit with Vladimir Putin in June, which focused on cyber attacks, a threat overshadowed by Russia's aggression toward Ukraine.
Look ahead in 3 to 6 months and say, did the things we agreed to sit down and try to work out, did it work?
Biden sought to reset the Russian relationship. Now Putin is testing Biden and Western allies. For all the challenges outside any president's control, one of the most devastating periods of Biden's first year was a decision that he made and stands behind.
I was not going to extend this forever war. And I was not extending a forever exit.
The swift fall of the Afghanistan government and the chaotic evacuation that followed, including 13 Americans killed in a suicide bombing, raised critical questions about competence that Biden and his team still struggle to shake 6 months later.
I take responsibility for the decision.
Yet taking responsibility marks a noted change between Biden and his predecessor, who looms even larger 1 year out of office. That point was clear on the anniversary of the Capitol attack.
He's not just a former president. He's a defeated former president.
And that, advisors say, is a glimpse into Biden's current mindset. He's no longer ignoring Trump and his assault on democracy. The outcome of his second year will help shape how Biden answers the biggest question of all, likely by this time next year. Will he run again?
Now, there has been no president who entered this office with as much experience as Biden. Accomplishments, yes, but the string of recent setbacks really have eroded that sense of competence that once was Biden's calling card. Jake, at the news conference here tomorrow, look for the president to tout his accomplishments, as well as, I'm told, acknowledge those shortcomings as he tries to turn the page and chart a course for his second year.